What's going on, guys? Welcome back to more Cartagra, Affliction of the Soul. I know my soul is certainly afflicted with some kind of illness. I need to be cured. We all need to be cured. We're all deranged and crazy. But yeah, so there's a cannibal walking around and killing people. That's certainly different from Carno Shoujo. I don't remember any cannibals. So, yeah, that's, I guess we're hunting down some ghouls. Shugo-sama? What's wrong? When I get myself upright, I see Hatsune looking down at me, worried. I was passing by in the hallway and heard you screaming out in your sleep. I'm sorry. Probably interrupted your work, huh? Not at all. Taking care of you is an important part of my job, too. I still have the Vietnam War flashbacks. Hatsune smiles and pulls a handkerchief out of her pocket. Pardon me. She proceeds to wipe off my brow. You're sweating a great deal. Did you have a nightmare or something? Maybe he saw what the cannibal was doing too. I've had this recurring nightmare for the last few years. There's no way I could tell Hatsune about it though. Nah, it was nothing. I brushed aside her question. Anyhow, could I ask you to make some breakfast, Hatsune? I kind of fell asleep right after I got home last night. Oh, that reminds me, Shugo-sama. Hatsune pipes up, a distinctly accusatory expression on her face. Sleeping on the tatami is a no-no. You'll catch a cold if you don't sleep inside a futon. Yeah, we all... apparently, she did end up scolding Shugo for not doing that. She's definitely right about that. In this winter season, sleeping without a futon is suicide. You even had the lights on. How sloppy can you get? I know, but I was tired. I let out a small sigh. I'm no match for her when she's like this. I'll be more careful from now on. Look, Hatsune, I've apologized already, so could you get me some food? I feel like I'm going to collapse from hunger. Make me a sandwich, bitch. Okay, I got it. I'll be right back with your breakfast, so please hang on, Shugo-sama. I glance at my wristwatch. There's still some time before Kozma comes over here. I spot a newspaper on top of the table. Hatsune probably left it there for me. I lazily skim through the articles. Looks like there haven't been any new developments in the Ueno murder case. I wonder if the killer's having trouble finding prey because everyone's being more vigilant. Or perhaps there won't be any more victims and the case is closed. Yeah, that's some wishful thinking. I sigh and put down the newspaper. I can't get anything out of this article. There's just too little information. I decide to lie back down on the tatami and wait for Hatsune to return with my breakfast. The food is skillfully laid out on the table. There's white rice garnished with an egg, grilled fish, pickled eggplant, and daikon, as well as shijimi miso soup. A simple yet labor-intensive meal in terms of preparation. Fragrant steam rising from the rice and soup makes my empty stomach twinge. Shugo-sama, please enjoy. As usual, please leave the silverware outside your room after you're finished eating. Hatsune gets up to leave. Why don't you take a little break, Hatsune? It's kind of dull eating all by myself. Lately, it's been our custom to chat during breakfast. I'm sorry. Oh, work? You seemed a little overworked since yesterday. I recall what happened to Hatsune last night. Did someone at the Yukishiro say something to you? Otoha or one of her friends? No, that's not it. Hatsune appears to wrestle with what to say, then opens her mouth to speak. Koyuki-chan and Seri-chan didn't show up for work, so I had to help with their share. Koyuki and Sarah. An image of the twins surfaces in my head. They're sisters of the same age as Hatsune, and I think they just made their grand debut as prostitutes. Now that you mention it, I haven't seen those girls recently. They didn't show up at all? Yeah. Otoha-san's probably irritated because of that. Koyuki and Sarah are Otoha's apprentices. I see. That puts you in quite a fix, doesn't it? Shall I tell Madame Ojaku and have her warn them? Hatsune looks somewhat troubled by my words. It's fine. I like working. Well, if you say so, Hatsune. Yes, I'm grateful for your concern, Shugo-sama. Hatsune bows and exits the room. I didn't do anything. If she had simply asked, there might have been something I could have done for her. Well then. Investigation time. I don't know if there... Actually, that's... I don't know if there's actually any investigative segments in this game like in Carno Shoujo. The only interactive things in this game, if I remember correctly, are the choices. I don't think there's actually any parts where you actually do the point-and-click investigation stuff, so I guess that might be something they just added in Carno Shoujo and just didn't have in Cartagra. You know, honestly, if somebody didn't tell me, I wouldn't have known that this was a game that took place before Car no Shoujo, just because of how, like I said earlier in the first video, it has certain effects like, you know, moving snow, and the character sprites are a little bit more expressive. It just feels like it's not a game that was made before Car no Shoujo in terms of how it is from a technical standpoint. So it's kind of surprising when I found that out. It's nearly time for my appointment with Kozma. I wait for her on the street that runs in front of the Yukishiro. The people in this neighborhood are creatures of the night, so there aren't many pedestrians at this hour. I came all the way out to the street to help with my digestion, but it seems like that was rather futile. I bet she got lost. There's nothing I can do about that. I've gotten this certain vibe from Kozma since the moment I laid eyes on her. Is it carelessness? Accident prone? Perhaps she's a bit slow. It looks like it snowed again last night, as the streets blanketed in a new layer of white powder. The cold starts to gradually seep in through the bottom of my feet. 15 minutes have passed. Kozma's still not here. 30 minutes have passed. Kozma's still not here. Why on earth do I have to stand out here in the freezing cold? An hour has passed. Suddenly, thoughts of the futility of life run through my brain. I frantically shake my head to clear them away. Yeah, this is what happens when you rely on women. Oh, that's incredibly sexist, Chaos. Why'd you say that? I get the feeling that waiting here any longer will just make me more bitter. I head back to my room. Well, not much else you can do. I pass through the entryway and head for my room. At that moment. Huh? Oh, there they are. It's Koyuki and Sarah. Hatsune just told me that they didn't show up for work. Upon closer inspection, it appears that the edges of their clothes are caked with grime. I suppose they wouldn't have had time to wash their clothes if they stayed over at a client's place and walked back. Where'd you girls run off to? You both caused everyone a lot of grief by taking time off. They say nothing. They both ignore me. Their eyes are blank, lifeless, like holes in a wall. The two girls try to slip by me. Hey, hold it! Don't touch me. Damn. Just fucking slapped us. Koyuki shakes off the hand I place on her shoulder. A flat, dull voice, a stark contrast with her violent action. I don't want to be touched by people like you with filthy souls. You'll corrupt us. You make me sick. I wonder if that's like a reference to the game's name. Your soul is dirty and afflicted with an illness. And the two girls vanish down the corridor. All I can do is watch them go. Scorn, disgust, rejection. For a split second, I saw those emotions in Koyuki's vacant gaze. What's with them? They were a bit strange to begin with, but they led normal lives here at the Yukishiro. They've never shown that kind of behavior toward me before. It's almost as though they've transformed. Their mud-stained clothes, vacant eyes, and flat tone, coupled with the Koyuki's mysterious words. Oh god, this woman. She just wants the D. I was looking for you, Shu-san. I just saw your guest. She was like this super peppy lady. She seemed kinda chilly in the hallway, so I showed her to your room, Shu-san. Rin's words pulled me out of my reverie. Okay, so Kazuna's finally arrived. I'm a bit concerned about the twins' behavior, but work comes first. Thanks, Rin. Sorry for the hassle. Not at all. She waves her hand around and walks off, leading the way. So we were waiting the whole time for her outside, but she was just in here waiting for us while we were waiting for her. We arrive in front of my room. Rin turns around, apparently troubled by something. By the way, Shu-san, may I ask you something? Sure, I don't mind. What's your relationship with that Kazuna girl? Huh? She doesn't seem like the kind of girl who'd have business here. Perhaps you guys have something special going on? What the heck kind of question is that? Oh god. Make something up or tell her the truth. I don't know, I feel like if we make something up, she'd be the type to gossip. Yep, okay, so telling her the truth was the right decision. I would have gone with that anyway, honestly, just because making something up just would have made everything worse for ourselves. There's no point in hiding things from Reed. I'll tell her the truth. It's for work. I've been hired to find somebody. Okay. It's been a while since you've had to work, huh? Another job from that scary old man? Scary old man? Does she mean Arashima-san? Yeah, a job from my old boss. I may end up needing your assistance. Just a heads up. Sure, I'd be glad to help. Just say the word. I don't know if it's due to her job or just her personality, but Rin's network of friends is astonishingly vast. I've used her information networks countless times before for work. Well, see you later, Rin. Okay. I find Kazuna sitting in the center of my room, fidgeting restlessly. Good morning, Kazuna-san. I greet Kazuna and take a seat directly across from her.
Takashiro-san, what's going on here? I'm so embarrassed. Why are you doing this to me?
What the fuck? Did she not? I guess maybe she didn't know that we were staying at a brothel. While saying "ah" and "ooh," Kazuna's face alters between shades of red and white. Looks like Kazuna's hit her stride. Kazuna-san, please calm down. What exactly are you embarrassed about? Good grief, at least apologize first for being late.
I feel it's kind of rude for me to say this, but is this establishment a...
Her words gradually trail off. Yeah, the Yukishiro is a brothel. What about it?
So it is an indecent place after all. The moment I got here, I was thinking how weird it was to have all these scantily clad women running around. It was awful on my way here, too. When I asked this old man for directions, he looked at me with pity and said, "Fight the good fight. Life isn't completely filled with hardships."
Kazuna's just so naive and sheltered. Well, I suppose all the old-timers around here do have it rough. Especially the guy that sells the takoyaki.
But there's still something I don't understand. Why do you pick this place as our meeting point?
Kazuna pauses to think.
Huh, I got it. You were going to use your task as an excuse to despoil me here. Well, am I right, Takashiro-san?
Whack. Kazuna slaps the tatami. What do I even say? You're wrong.
Thank goodness. That's right. I knew you weren't that type of person, Takashiro-san. Phew, I'm so relieved. I've always believed from the bottom of my heart that you were a good person.
Kazuna looks at me, eyes sparkling with trust. Jesus Christ. It's like we just like this is the end of the world for her. It's like, oh no, I'm in a bad place. This is a place for prostitutes. Why am I here? Thanks. I'm already worn down from her odd behavior, but work is work. Keep it cool, keep it cool. While mentally reminding myself that I'm an adult, I start to explain my living situation. This place is run by a friend of mine. It's through her that I rent a room here. I apologize for not explaining this to you beforehand. I'd then direct a question toward Kazuna. Let's switch topics and talk about work, shall we? Have you brought them with you?
Yep. I couldn't get very many on such short notice, but...
Kazuna pulls out a bag from her sleeve. Inside is a brown envelope. It contains photographs of Kozuki Yura, taken before her disappearance. I don't know how much help photos taken more than 5 years ago will be. Regardless, they're valuable clues. That'll do, thanks. I open the envelope and peek inside. Huh? The photos depict a girl with a swath of bandages roughly wrapped around her eyes and forehead. Kazuna-san, what's this?
According to what Father said, my sister lost most of her vision in an accident 10 years ago.
An accident, huh?
That's why she was terrified of the outside world and always stayed cooped up in her dark room.
The filthy bandages wound around her eyes are brown and fraying. The filthiness of the bandages shows just how apathetic the Kozuki family was to Yura's plight. A feeling of bitterness claws its way into my chest. So she was shunned by not only the townspeople but her family as well. I see. I recall the girl I was romantically involved with 7 years ago. Yura never really talked about her condition. Not even about the origin of her blindness, the accident. But I should stop thinking about that for the moment. Nothing's going to get accomplished if I don't focus my mind on the investigation. It'll be okay. This should do.
Phew, I'm happy it's useful. Takashiro-san, let's find my sister as fast as possible.
Yeah. At that moment.
Pardon me, Shugo-sama, I brought some tea.
I hear Hatsune's voice from the other side of the sliding door. Sure, come in. Hatsune enters bearing a tray. Her movements are calm, graceful. This serene bearing is something Kazuna and Nana could never hope to achieve. Indeed, the very model of what a lady should be. Yes, a proper lady.
Please enjoy before it gets cold, miss.
Hatsune says, then and presents the tea to Kazuna.
Okay. Thank you so much for your hospitality. I'm so grateful. Not at all. Please enjoy.
Hatsune gets up to leave the room while I'm trying not to burst out laughing at Kazuna's odd behavior. Hatsune, hold on 1 second.
Yes?
Let me introduce you. This is Kozuki Kazuna-san. I'm going to be working with her for a while, so you girls might be running into each other.
Right, Kozuki-sama. It's nice to meet you. Not at all. Hatsune-chan, was it? I'm much obliged, and I don't mind if you called me Kazuna.
She forcibly grabs Hatsune's hand and shakes it up and down furiously.
Sure.
Hatsune smiles awkwardly. Heck, I can't tell which one looks older. Shall we get going, Kazuna-san? I drain my cup of tea in a single gulp and stand up.
Oh, right.
Kazuna tries to follow suit, but instead chokes on the tea.
I'm sorry?
She's trying to say something during her coughing spell, but I decide to ignore her. I turn to Hatsune and say, "Well, Hatsune, I'll be back this evening."
Okay, Shugo-sama. Have a safe journey.
I leave the room, bid farewell by Hatsune's calm voice.
Oh, wait, Takashiro. You're going too far.
Or you're going too fast. You're going too far, you're going too fast. She didn't even finish the word. Why did I finish the word? God damn it. Why do I have to do your work for you? Finish your own sentences, damn it. I bump into Rin at the entrance of the Yukishiro.
Oh, heading out, Shu-san? Take care.
Yep, good timing as a matter of fact. Rin, take these. I pull out a few photographs from my pocket and hand them over to her. The girl in these photos. Apparently she was loitering around the slums around 1 week ago. Could you get some information about her without stirring things up?
Sure. Roger that.
She casually stuffs the photographs into her bosom. I appreciate the fact that she's caught on quickly, but that seems like a dangerous place to store them. You have my thanks, as always. Come to think of it, Rin's always done this for me, free of charge. It'd be terrible of me if I didn't do something to express my gratitude. Hey, I'm sure there's a few things I could think of there. Right, Rin, I'd like to make it up to you later, so think of something that you want. We all know what she wants.
Whoa, seriously?
That being said, you know how poor I am, right? Don't pick anything too expensive.
Of course I know.
Her eyes sparkle like a little kid's.
Yay, I wonder what I should get.
Maybe I was a bit too hasty. At any rate, I'll just pray that Rin's demands will fit within my budget. Well, that's about it. I'm counting on you, Rin.
Okay.
Rin lowers her voice to a whisper and says, "You know, Shu-san, if it's urgent, then you're better off asking the madam. She is a professional after all." I think we're both thinking the same thing there. She's probably busy, and I'm honestly kind of scared she'll use that later as a bargaining chip for some kind of demand. Sex for favors.
I wouldn't be too surprised if she did.
Ellipsis. Time to depart the Yukishiro and begin our investigation.
I'm sorry, Takashiro-san. I did something undignified again.
You're also making that weird anime face. Kazuna has finally caught up to me and she's panting rather heavily. No worries, I'm used to it already. I flash her a friendly smile.
Used to it? Hey, that's not very nice.
After casting a backward glance at a flustered Kazuna, I start walking off toward Ueno Station. Our first order of business is talking to any witnesses. Afterward, we'll go to the slums and collect information.
Takashiro-san?
Yeah?
I'm completely normal, and well, when you say you're used to it, it makes me seem like some kind of weirdo. You're getting the wrong idea.
Kazuna's frantically accusing me of something I don't even understand. I silently turn my back to her and walk off toward Ueno Station. I look up to find the skies above Ueno shrouded in clouds.
You're ignoring me? No, Takashiro-san, please wait.
Oh my god. How are we supposed to deal with this woman? A bustling sea of humanity is spread out before my eyes. I draw away from the crowd in front of Ueno Station, stand on the fringe of the sidewalk, and have myself a smoke. Since the end of the war, society has started functioning normally. People are busy working to rebuild and achieve personal happiness. The beginning of a new era. That's the phrase the media likes to use. However, not everyone has been blessed with peace. Kozuki Yura has disappeared for some reason, and there's a vicious murderer on the loose in Ueno. The slums are overflowing with starving children, and there's an endless number of people who hurt others over trivial sums of money. The rich keep getting richer, while the poor think of only using every chance they can get to take advantage of others. By people like you with filthy souls. Koyuki's words suddenly pop into my head. People with filthy souls, huh? What an old-fashioned thing to say. I flick the ash from my cigarette onto the sidewalk snow. The snow is dirty, trampled by the crowds.
You can't do that, Takashiro-san. Use an ashtray. You need to dispose of your cigarette ash inside an ashtray. God damn it, fuck. I was joking. Come on, look, there are ashtrays right there and over there too.
Right. Her voice clears away the depressing thoughts running through my head. Thanks for seeing him off. Kazuna has gone to see off her fan, the old man that has spotted Yura and Aomachi.
Sure, and not only did we get to talk to him, but he brought a gift for me too. I'm super grateful to him.
Kazuna then hoists up a paper bag for me to see. It bears the logo of a famous department store. Looks like something he bought inside of Ueno Station. That's fantastic. You have some great fans, Kazuna-san.
I'm still nothing special. He probably felt sorry for me because I'm way too horrible.
I ignore Kazuna's vehement show of modesty and mull over what the eyewitness told us. The girl was walking alone down a deserted street in Oimachi. She was looking downward, sneaking around, trying to avoid being noticed. She was dressed like a shrine maiden. Her clothes were soiled, and she wasn't wearing a coat, even in this cold weather. Her eyes were covered by her hair, so we didn't get a good look at them. Her face, however, was dark and grim, frightening the old man. She had the exact same facial features as Kazuna, but gave off a completely different impression. That's how he broached the topic with Kazuna, thinking it was one of her relatives or something. Well, that seems logical. Grim and dark. There's no way you'd get that kind of impression from Kazuna. At any rate, it looks like we didn't really get any new information. I'm not surprised, seeing as how the guy only caught a glance of her. That dressed like a shrine maiden statement makes me curious, but at the moment we don't have any leads regarding that. The old man ended up cocking his head at me curiously after I'd showed him the picture of Yura. The resemblance is uncanny, but I don't know.
Takashiro-san?
What's up?
Was that person really my sister?
There's a good possibility that she is? We don't know for certain yet. Well, look, these are both, like, similar responses. Like, we don't know for certain yet, but there's a good possibility that she is. I mean, maybe not, but I don't know. You wouldn't think it would make that much of a difference, but apparently it does, so we're just going to go with the second one. Yeah, there's too much of a resemblance for it to be a mere coincidence. There's a chance it's a girl that underwent cosmetic surgery, but I don't know why she would want her face to look like Yura-san's. I suppose there's no problem in continuing the investigation under the assumption that she's Yura-san.
Sure, Takashiro-san, I'd like to be able to meet with my sister and speak with her soon.
Well, we're still in the planning stages of this investigation, so let's not jump to conclusions. Well, judging from everything we've seen of her sister, I don't know if that's if she's someone she'd really want to meet and talk to. Let's head over to where Yura-san was spotted, Oimachi.
Okay.
Yeah, her sister is definitely nothing like her. She's more like Toko, actually. I mean, Toko, like, the only real appeal of Toko is that Toko is kind of weird and awkward, but she was very mature and insightful about things. And Kazuna's just really kind of childish, very naive, very sheltered, but also very energetic, and I don't know, like, I really like that about her personality. If I were to pick Kazuna or Toko, I would definitely go with Kazuna. Kazuna is just a much better heroine, in my opinion. We walk through downtown Ueno. Despite it being a weekday, there are a lot of pedestrians out and about, probably the noontime rush. The downtown area is a street that normally has shops and food stands lined up, so all the hustle and bustle gives it the air of a festival. How are you feeling, Kazuna-san? If you're hungry, let's grab something at one of these stands.
Sounds like a great idea.
Takoyaki stand?
Oh, but I'm not really all that hungry, so why don't you decide, Takashiro-san?
Alright. I scan the street. Truth be told, I'm not really that hungry either. Something light would be nice. Ah! There he is again. You want to buy some takoyaki? Nuts. Our eyes met. What do I do? Is this really one of those situations where we have to make a choice? Deal with it and hurry past. Buy some. What would he do if we hurried past? Would he be like, I'll remember that shit, kid. You come down here again, I'll beat your ass. Let's buy some takoyaki so he doesn't beat the fuck out of us. Alright, I guess. I nod and head for the old man's stand. I'm going to go buy some food, so please wait over here, Kazuna-san.
Oh, sure. Thank you very much.
Ellipsis. There aren't any customers at a stand today either. I never really get any customers. I don't even know how I stay in business. Hey there. 2 orders of takoyaki, please. Weren't you here yesterday, you motherfucker? Out of pity? Huh? I'm taken aback. He just said something I thought I'd never hear someone in the customer service trade say.
It's true. Business is slow here, but don't be feeling sorry for me. I may only be a humble artisan, but my skills don't come cheap.
I'm just hungry. We stare each other down.
Fine, I'll trust you.
After crushing his lips into a smile, the old man pours batter into the griddle. For now, I'll try to avoid saying anything out of line. Hey, sir? I suddenly realized the sign advertising his new product that was next to the stand yesterday has vanished. He probably took it down. Those whatchamacallits that you had yesterday, are you not making them anymore?
I don't really care.
The old man gives me the evil eye.
Only things that are well and truly good are able to survive. Looks like everyone's pretty wise.
Right. I see. So they were a failure. I decide not to inquire too deeply for the time being. Finally, the takoyaki are done.
Here you go.
Huh? Sir, you made a mistake. I didn't order 3 batches. He's handed me 3 orders of takoyaki.
It's on the house. Shut up and take them.
What the heck? Why so rude? The old man makes an exasperated face. I feel sort of annoyed for some reason.
They're not for you. They're for that girl.
Huh? The old man's pointing at Kozma, who's waiting for me with a dazed look on her face, mouth hanging open.
Her acting is great. It's satisfying.
Even he knows about her acting. You don't say. I guess she's kind of a celebrity in the theater business, so he is a fan of Kozma as well. Maybe she's actually a famous person and I'm the only one who hasn't heard of her.
Say hello to her for me.
I leave the food stand with the old man's raspy voice ringing in my ears.
Oh, nice work, Takashiro-san. That kind of took a while, didn't it?
Yeah, sorry for wasting your time like that. Giving you a detailed rundown would also be a waste of time, so let's just chow down for now.
Wow, thanks for the treat.
Kazuna-san, you can have 2 orders. It's a present from one of your local fans.
Huh?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
She then proceeds to stare at the takoyaki earnestly.
But I'm kind of worried about my weight if I eat that much.
Really? Then I'll... As I'm about to finish saying I'll eat them, Kazuna snatches the package away from me.
I think I'll eat them after all. I just realized it should be fun if I eat them today.
Kazuna then starts energetically chowing down on the takoyaki. I sigh and pick up one of my own takoyaki. Huh? The old man's takoyaki aren't exactly delicious, but neither are they bad. The taste is simply plain. Well, time to go to the ghetto. Oimachi, Ueno.
We asked around everywhere, but nobody knew anything.
This should do it. I think we'll get a response within a few days.
Takashiro-san, aren't you going to do more stuff, like question the people sitting on the streets?
Kazuna seems somewhat frightened by the savage atmosphere this place gives off. Yeah, I take a look at our surroundings. The folks around here treat strangers coldly. There are a lot of people here with something to hide. Even if I ask them questions, I don't know if they would give me honest answers. You'll get information faster by giving money to people you know already, like we just did.
Ah, I see.
Well, what I really don't get is why Yuro-san was spotted in an unwelcoming place like this. That's right. After 5 years, why would she be seen in the slum? We have to figure that out first. Hobos, gamblers, street urchins, vagrants. What did she want in the part of town where all the dregs of society congregate? We'll never know. After I finished speaking to all my informants, we decided to take a momentary breather. We stopped by a cafe with a sign outside that says Milk Hall. Milk Hall? What kind of fucking name is that? The interior is uncharacteristically stylish for Ueno. Kazuna's fidgeting and glancing about nervously.
Takashiro-san, I know it's rude of me to bring this up suddenly, but aren't places like this kinda expensive?
Well, I wouldn't exactly call it cheap, but please don't worry about it. Today is my treat.
Thank you so much. I'll select carefully from the menu so I can avoid being a burden on you, Takashiro-san.
Kazuna begins staring intensely at the menu. It's coming from the funds your father provided for the investigation, so it's not like I'm taking a hit in my wallet here.
I see. I'm not sure how to feel about that.
I kind of sensed it when I visited Zushi the other day, but are you quarreling with your family over something?
Oh, I started to mention it on the train yesterday.
Strangely enough, Kozma seems to be at a loss for words. But then...
My parents divorced when I was really young, so my sister and I were separated. Ever since then, I've kind of been alienated from my family in Zushi.
I see. And then... I have no way of knowing what kind of discussion the Kozuki family held. But the end result was, Kozma was taken away by her mother to Tokyo, while Yura remained with her father in Zushi.
That's why I had no idea that my sister had gotten into an accident. I was so engrossed in my activities with the theatrical company that my sister didn't even cross my mind. I ended up finding out about her accident when she disappeared 5 years ago.
Kozma looks rather glum and depressed. Perhaps she feels guilty about it.
I was contacted by my father, whom I hadn't seen for years and years. He said that Yura had disappeared and that they had tried everything they could but just couldn't find her, and that I should give up. I mean, what are you supposed to do when someone suddenly tells you to do a thing like that?
Kozma bites down on her lip in frustration. I see. Considering the type of person she is, there's no way she would forgive her father's cold-hearted attitude. That's probably when her rift with the Kozuki family began to open up. And who was the lady at the house yesterday? I recalled that her name was Ryoko.
Oh, right. Ryoko-san entered the household right after my father and mother divorced. She probably had a part to play in why my parents separated.
She was the mistress. At that point, Kozma drops her gaze to the floor. Is this really okay with you, Kozma-san? I mean, telling a guy like me about your personal life?
Well...
Kozma looks downward, lost in thought.
Yeah, I don't mind. I actually think I'm better off telling you.
She lifts her face right back up, back to normal.
Even the most trivial of things might become a clue for a detective.
Yep, you got it. Kozma flashes me a beaming smile upon hearing my reply.
That's right, it's important to know more about each other when becoming good friends.
Good friends?
Yep, I think we need that kind of connection, since we'll be searching for my sister together from now on.
I see.
If it's okay with you, please tell me about yourself, Takashiro-san.
You don't want to know about my past, kid. I've done some terrible things. I killed some people. I've been involved in the war. I came back a changed man. Not the same as I used to be.
Kozma stares straight into my eyes. I'm at a loss for words. There are so many things I could tell her about. My promise with Yura, things I experienced fighting on the mainland, the scene from that case 1 year ago. But there's nothing I can think about that won't bring painful memories flooding back. There simply aren't any topics I can broach with strangers. I'm sorry, but I'm kind of bad at talking about myself. I realize that I've given her a pretty waffly response.
It's okay, I understand. We practically just met, so it's natural for you to have your qualms. But it's kind of a letdown.
Kozma ponders things over.
Then could I ask one thing of you? It's super rude, but please.
Sure, whatever I can do.
Takashiro-san, is it alright for me to call you Shugo-san from now on? Also, please call me Kozma. Let's stop being all formal with each other, too. Come on, I get the feeling that we'll become better friends that way. Okay, Shugo-san?
At some point, I'd started to put up this wall between myself and others. However, Kozma's cheerfulness has easily leapt over that barrier. I'm rather perplexed, honestly. Sure, understood.
You sound a bit formal, Shugo-san. Try to be more relaxed.
Sure, gotcha. I can't help but grin when I see her smiling face. Anyhow, shall we order? I'm still feeling kind of lost. What are you going to have, Kozma? However, lost as I may be, maybe things aren't so bad after all. And this is only the second day you've been talking to each other and you're already on like a first name basis. I listened to Kozma talk about herself while sipping at my coffee. During her childhood, a play she saw in Tokyo opened her eyes to the world of theater. Her life in Tokyo may not be the pinnacle of luxury, but she lives every day to the fullest and leads a fulfilling life. At the moment, she's only getting minor parts, but she dreams of one day landing a lead role on a big stage. And then a dark shadow descends upon our time of peace. Oh God, why are you here? Go away, you fucking weird brother complex fucking crazy person.
Oh, how admirable. Living with a goal truly is a wonderful thing, isn't it? They say that money makes the man, Shugo. You should take those words to heart and get more serious about working.
Who is this crazy bitch? Kozma is frozen stock still from our sudden intruder. Honestly, considering who it turned out to be, I'm not surprised. What's wrong, Kozuki Kazuna-kun? Nana calls her by name, even though I'm sure it's the first time they've met. Just how How much has she been keeping an eye on us? It's so creepy. She's just been like watching us this whole time. The way she just shows up out of nowhere is as mysterious as ever. How do you know Kozma? Were you eavesdropping or something? Nana giggles happily and takes a seat in an empty chair. Without permission, of course.
You're so rude, Shugo. I just got here and I would never do something so crude.
You always do something crude. That's like the basis of your fucking character.
Well, I'll let you in on the secret behind this. Kozuki Kazuna-kun, you appeared in a production of A Midsummer Night's Dream at a theater in Meijiro in the middle of last month, correct?
My sister addresses Kazuna, who glances over at the girl next to her nervously.
Yes, I was Hermia.
She's really jittery. Well, I can understand how she feels.
I was in the audience at the time. That's all there is to it. Nothing suspicious at all.
Yeah, I kind of doubt it's that simple. She's been eavesdropping. She's been spying on us.
What is curious, on the other hand, is why an up-and-coming actress like Kozuki Kazuna-kun is enjoying an early afternoon tea with my failure of an older brother. Would one of you be so kind as to explain the situation to me?
Why the fuck do you need to know? I reply gloomily. Didn't I tell you yesterday? I got this job from Arashima-san. I'm helping her find somebody.
No, you didn't. I never forget any information that's been entered into my brain. If you'd told me, I would have remembered. Well, I suppose I must introduce myself. Kozuki Kazuna-kun, my name is Takashio Nana. I'm Shugo's cute little sister. Nice to meet you. Sure, Nana-san, the pleasure is all mine.
Nana nods her head calmly at Kazuna, who bobs her head frantically in return. It looks like the pecking order's already been established.
So you turned my invitation down so that you could be with Kozuki-kun, huh?
Nana suddenly switches to a solemn tone of voice. I'm getting a really bad feeling about this.
I feel like someone's stolen my precious older brother away from me. Honestly, I'm quite jealous. You really love your big brother, don't you, Nana-san?
I don't think you want to find out just how much she loves him. Whoa there. Let's refrain from using revolting words like love.
That's right. I wouldn't mind offering my chastity to Shugo.
Oh. Yeah. So what I was saying earlier then. What the fuck? Why would you say that? Like, I mean, then again, I'm questioning somebody who's fucking crazy and not right in the head, so... A stream of coffee jets out of my mouth at full force. Can't say I blame you. Cut it out! I jump up and scream at her. Nuts, I've drawn the attention of everybody inside the cafe.
Shugo. Shugo-san?
I'm not the... What the fuck? He's not the one that said something fucking ridiculous. Both ladies are looking at me, eyes brimming with pity. Yeah, you're the one making a scene here, mister. Wait a second, damn it. Is this really my fault? Blame it on the man. It's always the man's fault. The women didn't do nothing. They're just innocent, pure creatures. Nana, stop it with the bad jokes. Look, Kazuna's kind of, she might have believed you. Yeah, she is rather naive.
What do you mean by that?
I ignore Kazuna's yelling and press Nana for an explanation. What on earth did you come here for in the first place? Is it actually for those murders in Ueno you mentioned last night?
Correct. Here's a gift.
She sets a thick envelope onto the table with a thump. Like that.
I went to meet with the victims' families today. There wasn't enough information in the newspaper articles, you see. I've combined the articles and my personal views on the case. Give it a read if you're interested in this case. I came here today in order to give this to you, Shugo.
Oh, come on. It looks like I underestimated Nana's ability to get around. Actually meeting the victims' families face to face is clearly outside the scope of what an amateur should be doing. I should stop her now while I have the chance. Nana, listen up.
Shugo, I'm busy, so I'll be taking off here. Kozuki-kun, your performance at the Meijiro was fantastic. I've become one of your fans. I'll see you guys again sometime in the near future.
My efforts to restrain her end up in vain. Nana vanishes like a gust of wind.
Shugo-san?
Your sister's fucking crazy. Kazuna looks over at me, her eyes awash with emotion. Please don't say anything. She's probably just at that age where kids want to do weird things.
Okay.
We end up sipping the rest of our coffee in silence. Well, that definitely put a damper on the mood and the atmosphere. Since Kazuna has rehearsal with our theater group, I part ways with her and head back down to the slums. I want to take a look at the street where Yura was spotted. I doubt there will be any clues left, as it did happen over a week ago. The sun has set and a light snow has begun to fall. Even though the streets were quite crowded during the afternoon, right now there's nobody around. Everybody's probably taken refuge in their homes. The city becomes a dangerous place once the sun goes down. I'm sure it was around here somewhere. Dilapidated barracks line both sides of the street. The alleys are overflowing with garbage, and an odor like urine assaults my nostrils. This neighborhood is practically brimming with shady characters. I wander around in the gradually strengthening snowfall, searching for clues related to Yura. At that moment, I hear a voice from down the road.
Listen well, all ye who dwell within this filthy world. Our holy prophet has shown us a new path to salvation.
A woman's piercing voice rings in my ears. What the heck? The voice continues to stir up the crowd with intense rhetoric. I suppose I'll go take a look. Oh, this bitch. Right now, the prophecy of our destruction is steadily being fulfilled. The beast that consumes our flesh, the black-winged angel from heaven. These are omens of our impending destruction. Now is the only time for you to repent. Confess your sins, sinner. A tall woman is doing the yelling, standing in the middle of a vacant area between the rundown barracks, and in the clearing around her are people quietly lending their ears to her speech. What the heck's going on? I stand dumbfounded at the entrance to the plaza. Otherwise, you will all bear witness to a great tragedy. So, the apocalypse? There are people in the midst of the crowd who have their hands together in worship. Is she some kind of occult priestess or something? I slowly ease my way closer to get a better look at the strange girl. She has waist-length hair and an angular face. With her neat trim appearance, she's completely out of place in a slum like this. But what's most striking of all is her dark eyes. It's as though they're looking through a pale membrane. They're oddly transparent, and there's something intense that lies behind them. She resembles somebody I know. In fact, I know those eyes all too well. Here you are, sir. Huh? I'm suddenly jerked out of my reverie. This is for you. A child wearing strange-looking garb thrusts out a leaflet at me. If you're interested, give this a read. It's got all our leaders' prophecies written on it. Prophecies? I accept it and take a look. The leaflet is packed tight with words written in an eccentric little font. I can see a title on the top. The Book of Purgatory. Come on, what the hell is this? Creepy. That's the first impression it gives me. You should make sure to read it over. You'll die soon if you don't believe what the leader has to say. The child looks up at me with an impudent smile. Absolute hogwash. Oh? I toss away the leaflet and turn around. I don't have time to be associating with some crazy cult. However, there's no need to fear. The resurrection of our founder will bring the light of salvation upon this world. The woman's emphatic shouts echo behind me while the crowd continues to murmur quietly. Nothing for me to worry about. She's just one crazy woman, probably a drug addict. I try to satisfy myself with that explanation. However, the soft stirrings of doubt I have lodged in my chest upon seeing her eyes never quite disappear. Yep, I think she might be a little bit more than that. After leaving Oemachi, I make my way back to the Yukishiro. Shugo-sama, a visitor came while you were away and left this letter for you. Hatsune runs up to me as soon as I enter the building, as though she had been waiting there impatiently. Thanks. Who's it from? The one who visits you fairly often. He was tall and kind of scary. That'd be Toji. Scary, though. Well, I suppose Toji can be somewhat brusque at times. I accept the letter, give Hatsune my thanks, and head up to my room. Aoki Toji is a member of the Hand of Death, a syndicate established here in Ueno. Toji is also one of the few people I can call a friend. Even a cop who's only down in the seamy underworld for a short time can make some connections there. Though the underbelly of society is filled with a lot of undesirables, there are a few people you'll hit it off with for whatever reason too. Honestly, it's not much different from the normal world. The simple bodyguard I met back then was quickly promoted to the upper echelons of the syndicate, since the group highly values extraordinary physical strength. That didn't change Toji's attitude though. The syndicate leader is as easygoing and informal as ever, sometimes dropping by my room for a light chat. I don't have to pretend to be someone I'm not when I interact with who's sort of detached from the world. This letter from the prodigy of the underworld is short and to the point. I want to meet you tomorrow. I'll be waiting at the usual place around noon. I find it somewhat amusing. Not even a greeting, it gets straight down to business. Yeah, it pretty much reeks of Toji. But tomorrow at noon? That's when I have my appointment with Kozma. Oh well, I'll just take her along with me. It might be interesting to have those two meet, since they're pretty much polar opposites of each other. Well, I would say that Kazna and Nana are also polar opposites of each other. Well then, last night I went straight to bed since I was so exhausted. I've got to find some way to bathe tonight. The Yukishiro's girls are probably using it at this hour, so I should probably pass on that idea, but... what do I do? Oh my god, are we really making a decision whether to bathe or not? 2 days without taking a bath is fine. Apparently that's what we're gonna go with. I guess that if we went in there, we would have a comedic misunderstanding, and the girls would probably beat the shit out of us. Wait until the bath is free. Let's go with that. That's apparently the right choice. Thankfully, it's winter right now. It's not like I'm gonna die from not bathing for 2 days. Well, I do feel bad for the other girls here. I kind of feel awkward using that extravagant open-air bath every day, seeing as how I'm just a plain old freeloader. I take a whiff of my kimono. I guess I can get by with this. Really, it's not as though it's gonna kill me. Satisfied, I walk off down the hallway. On the way to my room, I come across Hatsune unexpectedly. Shugo-sama, good work today. Acting the part of the well-mannered young lady, Hatsune bows her head. You too. Are you finished with work for today? Yes, huh? She stops midway with a confused look on her face. Her cute little nose twitches. What? What's wrong, Hatsune? Well, there's this smell. Huh? It's nothing. I apologize for saying something odd. Really? I'm a bit concerned, but if she says it's no problem, then what can I do? Perhaps I'm better off not asking. Well then, Hatsune, good night. I bid her good night and try to get back to my room post-haste. Oh, Shugo-sama? Huh? Well... Yes? If you've got some free time at the moment, could you keep me company for a little while? Hatsune makes a proposition, blushing furiously. I wonder what she wants. Sex. Sex for favors. And, taking care not to be seen by others, Hatsune leads me to her room at the end of the hallway. How scandalous. Shugo-sama? Okay. That's the sex music. I don't like where this is going. Hatsune's embarrassed voice echoes around the room. Is this tight enough? No, that's no good. Go a little easier and try to wrap your index finger and thumb around. I'm sorry. I'm just so clumsy. Oh, come on. I lay my rough hand on top of Hatsune's. She's gripping the slender rod with some trepidation. Okay. I already know this isn't a sex scene. But I won't say what's going on. Her cheeks quickly flush crimson. I'll teach you how to write like a pro. Yep. Okay, Shugo-sama. They seriously like troll you with this scene. They make you think this is a sex scene, but then it's like, oh hey, there's just helping her practice how to write. She grips the rod firmly in her hands. Is it tight enough? God, this innuendo in this scene. Hatsune's hand has a pencil, slender rod clenched in it. I guide her through all her letters. Due to her lifelong tendency to fall ill, she was never able to attend school enough to get a good education. I've taken the opportunity to help Hatsune along with her studies. Now let's help her do some mathematic equations. See? Just write them like this. Got it, Hatsune? Yes, Shugo-sama. Thank you very... Huh? She stops midway with a confused look on her face. Her cute little nose twitches. Huh? Is something wrong, Hatsune? Oh, nothing. Though her brow is furrowed, Hatsune does her best to put on a gallant smile. I'm okay. I'll deal with it. Whoa. Deal with what? Now I'm really concerned, but I get the feeling that saying anything here will shatter her endurance. I'll just man up and keep my mouth shut. At any rate, I'd better start making bathing part of my daily routine. I guess that's why there was that comment about how bad we smell. Alrighty, let's call it a night. Oh, Shugo-sama, sorry about that. Thanks for staying with me so late. Ever the paragon of good manners, Hatsune bows. But even though you walked me through it all, I didn't make any progress today. Nah, that's not true. I lay my hand on Hatsune's head. It serves as a comforting pat as well as a way to tell her good work. Oh. Compared to when you first started, you've made good progress. Well, since you're up this late every day working at it, if you take it seriously, you'll be reading and writing in no time. Really? I guarantee it. Give it your all from now on, Hatsune. I'll help you out to the best of my abilities. Okay.
Thank you, Shuko-sama.
Her eyes sparkle brightly as she expresses her gratitude. That was weird.
She grips the rod tightly and firmly in her hands.
I sigh deeply. Finally, I can rest. It's the first day since I've started the search for Kazuki Yura.
Takashiro-san, let's find my sister as soon as possible, okay?
Kazuna's eyes were glimmering with honest enthusiasm.
Just do whatever's necessary to deceive Kozma.
Keiichiro had said, a disgusting smile on his face. Love for one's kin versus the honor of the family name. They're writhing together in this complicated web of emotions that has no escape. What a mess I've been dragged into. At any rate, I've got to at least do enough work to justify the paycheck I'm getting. Thinking about my own feelings comes later. Speaking of messes, there's still one more I have to deal with. I turn around and look at the envelope on top of my table. It's the report Nana gave me about the Ueno murders. If I read this, I'll just be walking right into Nana's trap. Honestly, I'm kind of reluctant. Read it. Don't read it. Well, she gave it to us, so as far as I'm concerned, we may as well read it. The Ueno murders fall under police jurisdiction. In a manner of speaking, they're part of a world I'm not involved in anymore. I'm well aware of that. However, in the end, I'm unable to quash the curiosity bubbling up in my chest. I open up the envelope and pull out the sheaf of documents. The first victim, Isaka Shizuku. She was a female student enrolled at the Kaio Private Academy in Ueno. Apparently, she was one of my classmates. Pity we never got the chance to meet while she was still alive. Nana's commentary. Oh god, why the hell did she give commentary in this? She was murdered on January 6th. Her parents contacted the police because their daughter hadn't returned home by nightfall. She was not found that day. Shizuku-kun was a model student and a member of the flower arranging club, the very epitome of a sheltered girl. Her dream was to become a congresswoman, and to achieve that, she studied day and night and never once violated curfew. Truly a pity. Nana's running commentary continues in tiny characters. I digress, but apparently Shizuku-kun's mother was reminded of her daughter when she laid eyes on me in uniform. The woman teared up a storm. She berated me and told me to just leave her alone. I guess the reporters had been hounding her. I was being a bother to this emotionally unstable woman. I finally got through to her, though. It was worth it to be sincere and to have a talk with her. What the fuck? Her dismembered corpse was found lying in a drainage canal on the outskirts of Oimachi 2 mornings later. All 4 limbs had been severed, her abdomen was cut open, and several of her organs, uterus, vagina, a portion of intestine, had not yet been located. Ugh! Jesus fuck. So he cut that off too and like threw it away? Yeah. God damn. Yeah, I mean, the only aspect that's missing is him stuffing the girls into eggs and putting the eggs into their uteruses. Folding the parts up and stuffing them in bags was a good idea, but the weight slipped off and they floated over to the bank of the canal. Guess I should say good work. 4 cloth bags were discovered, crammed with her arms, legs, torso, and head. The corpse was severely damaged from the pecking the crows had done. Due to that, the killer's penchant for cannibalism wasn't clear at this point in time. No surprise there. No matter how many strange wounds Shizuku had on her, it'd be natural to chalk it up to the crows. The clincher in determining her identity was her student handbook. It was stuffed inside a bag along with her uniform and underclothes. If the handbook hadn't been there, it would have taken a lot longer to figure out who she was. The crow's greedy appetites would have complicated things. Of course, the only reason Shizuku-kun's body was discovered so quickly was due to the racket the crows were making in the morning. I look up from the documents. The rest of them go into greater depth about the damage done to the corpse, the type of bags that were used, and the absence of eyewitnesses. In conclusion, regarding the first murder, there are no clues that point to a culprit. Keep reading. Stop here. Well, the guide says to keep reading. Just keep reading about the girl who was hacked apart. I lower my eyes once again and resume reading Nana's report. The second murder occurred 16 days after the first, on January 22nd. The victim's name, Meijima Tomoko. She was what you would call a streetwalker. The only thing in common with the first murder was that the abdomen had been sliced open. Her corpse was discovered in a dump on the outskirts of the downtown area. The crows had torn through the bags this time as well. At first, nobody believed that these 2 murders were related, as the student and hooker didn't have any associates in common. But the murders continued, a third, then a fourth. The third murder occurred 9 days after the second on January 31st. The victim's name, Sasaki Yukie. She was also a hooker. Well, I suppose the murderer targeted them since there are no other occupations where a woman would be wandering around by herself in the dead of night. At that point, the police concluded that they were dealing with a serial killer. They started investigating people who had committed sexual felonies in the past. It seemed appropriate judging by the damage to the corpse and the MO. On the other hand, you could say they were rather slow in connecting all the dots. Why, you ask? Well, that's because 5 days later, the fourth murder occurred. So a lot of these seem to be prostitutes. The fourth murder happened on February 5th. The victim was a housewife who lived in Kanda, Kazukabe Akemi. On noon of that day, she left her home to take care of some business at a friend's house. That's when she vanished. What immediately catches one's attention at this point is that the time interval in between murders seems to be getting shorter. At the same time, the murderer had honed his skills at amputation. Furthermore, he's getting sloppy in choosing places to dispose of the corpses. After all, the fourth victim was disposed of in an alley downtown. I'm actually rather impressed. What we can glean from these circumstances is that the killer is becoming more accustomed to the act, and that he's starting to become unable to keep his appetite in check. I've had enough of this. I feel repulsed by these gruesome, bizarre murders, but what annoys me more is the attitude in which Nana speaks about them. Coolly, and at times happily. It sounds nothing like a report you'd expect a female student to write. The things that girl does, a chill runs through me. The little sister that I've grown up with has suddenly transformed into some unrecognizable monster. But still, I whip my head around to chase away the rising anxiety in my chest. Nana can't possibly continue with her eccentric behavior forever. When she hits a certain age, she'll... With my worries about Nana still swirling around in my head, I returned the documents to their envelope. Huh? At that point, I noticed a bundle of photographs inside. Oh, those are probably the victims. There's no mistaking them. They're photos of the butchered corpses from the bizarre serial murders. The bodies are neat and clean, photographed upon the autopsy table. Their limbs were hacked off and their organs gouged out through the uterus. Damn, that's brutal. A sigh escapes through my lips. It's one thing to hear about the murders and another to actually see the terrible side of the corpses with one's own eyes. I toss them back into the envelope and flop down onto my futon. Damn it all. Sleep overtakes me while I chase around all the vague worries in the back of my mind.